Hi, welcome to downtown New Orleans. We are standing at 640 Magazine Street. That's a theme that you will get used to as we continue with this collection. A lot of Lee Harvey Oswald's movements in 1963 centered around Magazine Street, which runs from one end of the city to the other. As you can see here, this is Riley Coffee. And Riley Coffee is the cover job that Lee Harvey Oswald got on May 9th, 1963. So he arrives in the city in April, the end of April, April 25th, 1963, and arranges to live with his aunt at 757 French Street in Lakeview. And he lives there for about 2 weeks. During that time, he visits the employment office in New Orleans. He tries to contact some relatives on his father's side. He files an appeal regarding his unemployment status. Evidently, he got denied benefits. And then on May 9th, he found himself an apartment and a job. We'll visit the apartment later, but this is the job. And he was hired as a maintenance man. And so his job here at Riley Coffee was largely symbolic. It was a cover job. But I wanted you to see Magazine Street. If you go to the other end of Magazine, there's a bus, and every morning he and his co-worker, whom we'll talk more about later, Judith Ferry, would ride in from one end of town all the way down here to Riley Coffee on the Magazine Street bus. And then they would get off and go through that double door entrance there, if you can see it, underneath the number 640. And Judith would split off and go to the left, and Lee would split off and go to the right. Judith worked a administrative job. She handled things like paychecks and pay stubs and time cards and things of that nature. And Lee, as I said, was a maintenance man. And he would, after clocking in, he would disappear. This happened pretty routinely. His boss would look around for him, couldn't find him. And I'm going to take you around back of this building here in a minute and show you where he disappeared and why he disappeared. But this was a cover job. It was to show that he had gainful employment, also that Judith had gainful employment. It was very convenient because Oswald, obviously its location, it's centered right down here where all of his activities that summer of '63 are going to be taking place. He's literally blocks away from everything he needs. Also, he's responsible for Judith, so if they both have jobs at the same place, he's her handler. He can keep tabs on her. They ride the bus to work together in the morning. They ride the bus home afterwards, and he is doing his job as her handler. So, wanted you to see Riley Coffee. Today it's called Riley Foods. Back then it was Riley Coffee. This was a very conservative company. The owner and managers of this company were extreme right-wing people, ex-FBI, anti-Castro type people, because their trade, coffee, came from Latin America, and they were it was a hassle dealing with these communist countries or any country that was trying to turn Latin America communist. Of course, that's what Fidel Castro was doing. So if you did business in Latin America in 1960, you were a capitalist trying to make money, your enemy was Fidel Castro. And anybody affiliated with this company is going to have to pass muster with the bosses and be sufficiently anti-Castro as far as the politics are concerned, because that's their livelihood depended on it. So it's interesting when you start getting into the goings-on of Lee Harvey Oswald in the summer of '63 and how pro-Castro he was, that he got hired by this company, which was decidedly anti-Castro. That would not happen. They did extensive background checks. They would not have permitted that to happen unless it was arranged in advance. This was a cover job that was arranged in advance for a set period of time, and when that period of time was over and his purpose here in New Orleans was done, he would be let go, which is exactly what happened. So, on to the back of the building to show you